Hello, and welcome to the next unit. This unit, we're looking at the creation story. Most people only look at Genesis chapter 1, but we're looking at Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2. How are they different? How are they the same? What words can we learn from these two chapters about the creation? Let's see. Genesis 2, verse 1. The heavens, the earth, and all their vast array were finished. Vast. That means a lot of something in number or size. Vast array. An array. An array means that it's broken off into little pieces, and each item, each piece is impressive. An array. Now we could put vast and array together. The heavens, the earth, and all their great number and size, each being impressive, were finished. Vast and array. Verse 3 says this. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy because he rested in it from all his work of creation, which he had done. Now this word blessed, 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 blessed. This means made holy, blessed. Now we have this word holy. Holy means dedicated to God. So if something's holy, you give it to God, dedicate it to God. Holy. God made holy the seventh day and made it dedicated to God because he rested in it from all his work of creation, which he had done. So blessed and holy. Now, verse 4 says this. This is the history of the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh God made the earth. Now we have this word generations, generations, generations. This is people or things being in the same time period, like the millennial generation, right? Sometimes we'll say the baby boomer generation. So this is the history of the different time periods of the heavens and the earth. Generations. Verse 5. No plant of the field was yet in the earth, and no herb of the field had yet sprung up, for Yahweh God had not caused it to rain on the earth. There was not a man to till the ground. Herb, herb. This is any plant with seeds, leaves, or flowers, and used to make food, medicine, etc. Herb. Now we have this word sprung up, like this, sprung up. Means to appear suddenly, sprung up. Now we can put together herb and sprung up. And no plant with seeds, leaves, or flowers of the field had yet appeared suddenly. Herb and sprung up. Now we have this word till, till, till. This is to dig up the ground to plant. Till. There was not a man to till the ground becomes there was not a man to dig up the ground to plant it. Till. Verse 6. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. So now we have the word mist. mist, mist. This is a blanket of small drops of water on the ground. It's not like a lake or a puddle, not a lot of water, just small drops on the ground, mist. But a mist went up from the earth. But a blanket of small drops of water on the ground went up from the earth, mist. Verse 7, Yahweh God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Nostrils, 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 nostrils. This is 2 holes in your nose, nostrils. So, and breathed into the 2 holes in his nose the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Nostrils. Verse 9 says, out of the ground, Yahweh God made every tree to grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, including the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So here we have the word pleasant, pleasant, pleasant. Remember from the book of Ruth, we had Naomi and Ruth. Naomi meant pleasant, and pleasant means happy and cheerful, pleasant. So now this phrase, out of the ground, Yahweh God made every tree to grow that is pleasant to the sight. Out of the ground, Yahweh God made every tree to grow that is happy and cheerful to the sight, pleasant. Knowledge, 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 knowledge. Remember that the K is solid. The K is silent here. Knowledge. So knowledge means information and facts, things that you can know. Knowledge comes from the word know. And the tree of the knowledge of good and evil becomes, and the tree of the information and facts of good and evil. So now we can know about good and evil. Knowledge. Verse 12, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are also there. So now we have this word bdellium, bdellium, bdellium. This is a nice smelling resin. Resin is something that's just kind of left over after it sits for a while. So resin is, it's like myrrh is another resin. This was brought to Jesus at his birth. So a nice smelling resin. Onyx is a semi-precious stone, like a diamond or a ruby. Maybe worth a little bit less than that though. Onyx, onyx, onyx. So now we put the 2 words bdellium and onyx. And the gold of that land is good. Bdellium, a nice smelling resin, and onyx, a semi-precious stone, are also there. I like the picture here. It does look like this land spread out, but this land is in Korea, not where this is. Bdellium and onyx. The name of the 3rd river is Hiddekel. This is the one which flows in front of Assyria. The 4th river is the Euphrates. Again, this picture doesn't show these 2 rivers. This is in Korea. So here we have this place called Assyria. seen by the two lines here. Assyria, Assyria, Assyria. One of those old civilizations that used to rule the world. Then we have Euphrates, 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 a major river still there in the Middle East. Assyria and Euphrates. Verse 15, Yahweh God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to cultivate and keep it. Cultivate, cultivate, cultivate. This is preparing the land to grow food. Cultivate. So Yahweh God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to cultivate and keep it. Yahweh God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to prepare the land to grow food and keep it. So there was a job that was to be done in the Garden of Eden. They didn't just get the fruit and vegetables for free. They had to work for it. Yahweh God commanded the man, saying, "You may freely eat of every tree of the garden." So commanded, commanded, commanded. This is not a request, but an order. Do this now. A command. Like if you're captain of a ship, you command people, you don't request. Do this now. So Yahweh God commanded the man, saying, Yahweh God ordered, not requested the man, saying, commanded. The man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the sky, and to every animal of the field. But for man, there was not found a helper comparable to him. Other verses would say suitable to him, not comparable. So here we have the word livestock, livestock, livestock. This is usually farm animals today, cows and goats and oxen, things like that. Livestock. The man gave names to all livestock. Now, the man gave names to all farm animals. So they didn't quite have farms yet, but these would eventually, what we would tame, we would use as farm animals today. Livestock. Yahweh caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. As the man slept, he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Verse 21. So flesh, 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 flesh. This is the soft parts of a person or an animal. Flesh. And closed up the flesh in its place, and closed up the soft parts of the man in its place. Flesh. So that's all we have for this unit. I hope you've learned a lot from Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, and I hope your knowledge of English words gets more and more. You become more fluid. And I hope you've enjoyed this story about the creation story. Have a great day. See you next unit. Bye.